One of my biggest issues with the topic of charity is that it only comes up in the context of a fundraiser. And so you've heard the verses about sadaqah, the hadith about sadaqah, all of these different things being used and these concepts being deployed in order to raise money for noble causes, but you can feel spiritually disconnected from that action of charity. And I remember sitting at a fundraiser with Imam Siraj, and Imam Siraj said something so beautiful about this particular hadith. The Prophet ﷺ, he said that when a person wakes up in the morning, every day 2 angels are sent to that person. One angel says, Allahumma a'ti munfiqan khalafa. The other one says, Allahumma a'ti mumsikan talafa. O Allah, give to the one who gives, and O Allah, withhold from the one who withholds. Okay? So Imam Siraj said very beautifully, he said that there's a book, a record book right now. The angels are recording those amounts. It's not just the people putting them into the Excel sheets or documenting the numbers themselves. And he said, when your name is there, do you want there to be a 0 next to your name, or do you want there to be something else? Right? So this idea of never allowing there to be a 0 next to your name when it comes to sadaqah. Now, this hadith about the 2 angels descending and saying, Allahumma a'ti munfiqan khalafa, Allahumma a'ti mumsikan talafa, O Allah, give to the one who gives and withhold from the one who withholds. This is obviously in accordance with your capacity. But there's another hadith in Ibn Hibban, which is a beautiful visual to take with this. The Prophet ﷺ said that verily there is an angel at one of the gates of paradise that is holding on to that gate of Jannah and saying, Man yuqrid al-yawm yujza ghadan. Man yuqrid al-yawm yujza ghadan. Whoever gives a beautiful loan today will be given a beautiful reward tomorrow. Whoever gives a beautiful loan today will be given a beautiful reward tomorrow. And as he's hanging on to the gates of Al-Jannah, what he means is that paradise that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has promised for the believers and promised as a reward for generosity. And the Prophet ﷺ said that on another gate of Jannah, there's an angel saying, Allahumma a'ti munfiqan khalafa, Allahumma a'ti mumsikan talafa. O Allah, give to the one who gives, and O Allah, withhold from the one who withholds. This is also in a hadith that the Prophet ﷺ mentioned that there was a man that was walking one day, and as he was walking, he heard this voice from the clouds that said, Asqi hadiqata fulan, irrigate the garden of so-and-so, water the garden of so-and-so. And so the Prophet ﷺ said this man looked up and he saw the clouds form, and then suddenly it started to pour rain, and the rain came on this stony surface, and then it perfectly formed into a channel that flowed directly into this garden. So he followed where the water was going, and he saw that it was going perfectly into this man's garden, and he saw the man that was then distributing the water across his garden. And he asked the man, what his story was, without telling him what he had just seen. And the man was a little apprehensive because he didn't want to tell him what his story was. He was curious why he was being asked. And then that man said that I saw the clouds form and I heard a voice from the sky that said, water the garden of so-and-so. So that's why I came to you. And subhanAllah, that man responded, he said, everything that I earn, I cut it into threes. So I have 1/3 that is for my family, 1/3 that I invest, and 1/3 that I give in charity. And that's how I allocate all of my wealth. 1/3 for my family, 1/3 I invest, and 1/3 that goes to sadaqah. So this is a divine equation for good in our lives. Now, what I'd want for you to take from this, beyond just the angels and things of that sort, charity should be a daily habit. Don't wait for the fundraisers. Don't wait for somebody to invite you to Jannah, right? This is your place. This is your reward. This is something between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is especially true when people are not attending the fundraisers that they typically would because of their circumstances, right? This is particularly true now that you push yourself and you don't hesitate, and charity becomes due upon you every single day, even if it's a small amount. One of the things that my parents did, may Allah have mercy on my mother and preserve my father. We used to have, for one of the charities, Qubat al-Sakhra, the dome of the rock, and the dome would come off and we would put some charity in there every single day. And so whether it's $1 that you put in a day or you put in a coin a day, then it was just to get everyone in the habit of putting in something, a penny, a nickel, something every single day that goes towards sadaqah. And then at the end of the month, we'd give it away in charity. And so even when you're thinking about your families, if you've taken a course with me before, even if you take like a 2-liter bottle and call it our Jannah bottle, and teach your family that, look, every single day we're going to give something in sadaqah. Because if I could find the most righteous person in the world and say, hey, I want you to make dua for my well-being every single day. If I had that moment to find the most righteous person in the world and say, hey, I want you to remember me every single day and ask Allah to give me, then all of us would take that opportunity. But here you have an opportunity that the Prophet ﷺ is saying, where you could have an angel literally holding on to the gates of Al-Jannah, praying for you, making dua for you to be rewarded with that.